I guess I'll just get right into it.
Sure.
So, Patrick, it's an absolute pleasure to have you. We're kind of kicking off a brand new series, if you will, which is sort of an
Okay.
introduction to manufacturers.
Okay.
And so, whether, there might be a couple kinks along the way, but I hope we just have a good session to be able to introduce some of our customers to EZDS, the company, but more importantly, Zenith, the like the brand and the equipment. Um,
Mhm.
so first and foremost, can you please introduce yourself and what you do at Zenith? Sorry, EZDS.
Well, my name is Patrick Dadson, and I am one of the technical support specialists here. I also manage the call center area as well. Little bit about my background. I used to work at GIT America for about 3 to 4 years there. Before that, I used to work at Hyundai Motor America as a Hyundai Tech Line agent, and I did that for about 6 to 7 years. And then before that, even then, I was actually an automotive service technician for Hyundai, and I've done that for about 7 years. So I've had a lot of experience in just with like Hyundai in general and like going into the diagnostic scan tools as far as Hyundai goes. But
Yeah, I mean that's super cool. I would say that if I ever have questions around that, I'm coming to you, especially around Hyundai. Actually, I do have a lot of questions, but we'll get there.
that's
maybe
okay.
maybe after hours. I mean, there's a lot of the OE tooling. I think that's, as you probably know, and actually we'll get into the remote piece, but yeah, OE tooling is just such a hot topic right now too.
Oh yeah, it's on fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's back up a bit. And
Mhm.
firstly, just wanted to ask you to tell us more about the company. EZDS. Where'd you guys come from?
Okay, so EZDS originally started in South Korea, and we've been in the diagnostic tool business for quite a while. Our founder, Brian Choi, has been in the industry since the early 90s, and he started at Hyundai Information Technology as an engineer. What do you know? And then he co founded actually GIT in 1997. So GIT is the OEM scan tool manufacturer for Hyundai and Kia. Now, in 2009, he spun off from that and founded EZDS to focus on the aftermarket business. Uh, so you could say like diagnostics is in our DNA.
Yeah,
And since then, we've been selling the G Scan series, like G Scan 1, 2, and 3. And then in 2019, we decided to launch our own scan tool, which was the Zenith Z5. Um, just last year, we introduced the Z7. And to get even closer to our customers in the US, we established EZDS USA here in California, Santa Ana, California in 2023.
2023. That's awesome. Obviously, you guys have a rich history, but I think what's exciting is newer to the US space, and we like that's what we found so interesting is you guys have such a rich background in the engineering side and the scan
Right,
tool side, and I feel like a lot of our customers don't know about enough about you guys, which is one of the
right.
reasons why we wanted to connect. So cool. Um, I mean, you did allude to how originally Brian was sort of the co-founder of the GIT group, but just in general, can you tell us a bit more about um, the focus and the heritage around the Korean brands?
Um, well, we're not just like making scan tools. We also develop like software for the end of line equipment used in like Hyundai, Kia, and Sangyong. That's another like factory out in Korea. Uh, since we spun off from GIT, I mean, our engineers have like these like decades of experience, in diagnosing these vehicles. So it was kind of a natural progression for us to focus on like Korean OEMs because, well, we've been doing it for years. So
Patrick, one of the things that we're excited to talk with you about was certainly the Zenith line of diagnostic tablets. Um, so the Z5, the Z7, can you please tell us more about these two tablets?
the Z5 was our mid-range model, with an 8-inch LCD and wired connection, while the Z7 is kind of like our premium model with a 10-inch LCD, wireless connectivity, docking station, built-in DOIP and CAN FD support. And software-wise, they're kind of similar, but the Z7 has some extra perks like Auto VIN and 48 service functions. Both of them are built on professional, no, built for professional technicians who demand reliable performance. They've built all these functions on top of the Z5 into the Z7, which makes it a little bit more robust.
Very cool. And from what I've seen and what you've told me, like a couple of things that stand out. So the Z5, smaller screen,
Mhm.
somewhat smaller like battery capacity
Mhm.
compared to the Z7, right? And the
Correct.
VCI, I believe you said it's an actual wired connection, and so
Yes,
it's like connected to the OBD port and then connected to the tablet directly
that is
with
correct.
cables. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. Whereas the Z7, it's fully wireless. Can you tell us more about that?
Fully wireless. Yeah, they just hook it up to the BD2 port and they can connect it with their Z7 scan tool. And from there, they can, you know, do their diagnostics from there. A lot of the world today, I mean, is going wireless. So, there's no need for wired connections anymore. I mean, some people still prefer wired connections too. There's a couple of guys out there that still actually prefer that.
Yeah, no, but certainly like what we see on the market is the majority of the VCI tablet connection is certainly gone wireless. So that's cool.
Mhm.
Um, awesome. Well, thanks for taking us through those tools.
Okay.
Stop sharing that. So, Patrick, the aftermarket space certainly a really busy space, and there's a lot of good equipment out there. There's a
Mhm.
lot of good diagnostic tools. Um, so, if you were to chat with our customers, what would you tell them in terms of why they should choose a Zenith tool versus any other aftermarket tool?
That's really a good question. I mean, we do have partner offices in Korea and Japan, which kind of gives us that competitive edge in supporting Asian vehicles. And we also, try our best to release updates frequently. Also when there's an issue with the software, we try our best to respond and provide a solution within 24 working hours. I mean, since we have, offices in Korea and Japan, where the new Asian cars are introduced, we have quick access to those vehicles for development. In terms of like special features, we support 24 model years and up for like Hyundai, Kia, and Genesis, where most other aftermarket tools don't even have that yet.
Yeah, that's really cool. And we've talked about this before, how your tool is only as good as the software and its coverage.
Hmm.
And so for customers to know that they can get fastest and broadest coverage in the Korean and Japanese sort of makes and models, I think that's a really strong, um, definitely a strong advantage. Um, but can you also tell us more? We touched on this before, but how is the coverage across some of the other OEs, like the Americans and the European?
Although we market our products as specialization in Asian brands, we also ensure like solid coverage for U.S. domestic and European cars. We're quite confident in U.S. domestics and certain European manufacturers, such as like BMW and Mercedes.
That's awesome. Um, I will also say, like, everyone knows this, like, no aftermarket tool is perfect. A lot
Hmm.
of the times, shops will actually, they're going to have more than one tool so that they can try to get the best coverage possible.
Right.
Um, One thing that with you guys are recently launching is your Z remote feature, which I find really, really cool. Can you tell
Mhm.
us more about that?
Well, the Zero Mode is actually like an upcoming service that will allow technicians to get like OEM level diagnostic support directly from our technical support center here in California. If a function is missing or a certain model isn't supported, they just call us and we'll assist them using OEM J2534 software. And the best part about it is the service is completely free for customers with a valid subscription.
Honestly, that's incredible. Like, especially because I know there are a lot of remote services out there that
Mhm.
are quite costly, require you to buy separate equipment as well, not to mention usually a subscription or a fee for use.
Mhm.
So I think that's super valuable for any shop to be able to have access to that. And I really commend you guys for looking to fill the gaps in a really innovative and customer centric way. So that's awesome. Um, Here's a question though: is how does it actually work? So if I have my Zenith tablet, I find that this vehicle isn't covered. Um, how does it work? So I'm plugged in to the OBD2 port. You know, the vehicle's on my screen, but what do I do from there?
Okay, let's take it a different route here.
Sure, sure.
Um, let's say one of our customers faces a situation where our the tool doesn't support a certain function or is like missing a model, right?
Right.
Um, well, then they can call us and we'll arrange a Z remote session on our website or obviously a toll free number. Um, Once we get in control of the tablet, we can start to perform those desired functions through J2534. So we'll help them like when once they're connected through Z remote, it's like we just help them push that along, get their functions completed. Whatever was missing on the tablet that isn't there, we just use the Z remote.
That's super cool. Sounds pretty seamless. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, very simple, like super simple.
Okay, so want to get into the ADAS side.
Hmm.
Our business is mostly, we specialize in ADAS, so that's what we care about a lot.
Right.
Um, you know, we understand that you guys don't have your own targets or frame system for targets. So how does that work? How do most of your customers um, conduct their ADAS calibrations, especially because you guys provide the software for free, right?
Yeah. For the ADAS calibration stuff, it's totally for free, so it's already in there. So all they have to do is just go through it and perform it. But as far as like how to perform this, I mean, there's two different types of like calibrations. For like static calibration, the technician can use their own targets, that they have for the calibration. As long as the target is positioned correctly and using our tablet, we'll complete the task. As far as dynamic calibration, that's like more the drivability side of it, right? They don't really need the targets or anything. They just drive the vehicle. Um, they just drive it, and basically once it completes, it's done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Here's a question for you though. So
Mhm.
if I look at some of the other aftermarkets, they
Mhm.
do provide a step-by-step procedure for the
Okay.
measurements and for
Right.
the placement of the targets. Is there any of that kind of SOP built into the Zenith?
Well, that's the one thing we're kind of considering at the moment. Since most instructions are related to like target setup, we don't provide like physical frames or anything like that. We don't see the need for one. However, we are trying to come up with useful materials that can assist technicians for ADAS calibrations.
Got it. So for the most part, they'll have to use sort of your all data, your like pull service information to get the right instructions to be able to place the target correctly. And then at
Yeah,
that point, they can use the Zenith to kind of trigger the calibration.
correct. That is
Okay,
correct.
got it. So yeah, Patrick, we've seen some cool figures about how dominant you guys are in the Korean and Japanese market. Some
Mhm.
even say up to 70%. So why is your presence so big there, and why are you guys succeeding so much?
Well, it helps that most of the cars are actually in Korea and Japan. Percent market share might sound like a bit of an exaggeration, but it's true that our tool is like the best-selling aftermarket diagnostic scan tool in both countries. And the secret is actually fast tech support and putting our customers first.
And so that's what you're talking about, right? Like whenever an issue comes up, someone usually will call in, and then you guys are really quick to address and make updates, right? To
One, yeah, 1000%. We were just like quick, just like, oh, hey, this guy needs something. Okay, we got it.
yeah. So your engineers work very quickly, and then I'm guessing you're pushing out updates uh, quite quickly then.
Yeah, pretty regularly. Yeah, because there's a lot of sometimes there's like a lot of functions that are missing or like stuff that's not there, and it's like, oh no, we need this. Get it, get it, get it. And so we're just like telling HQ, just, hey, we need this now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. Um, Curious to know, because you guys have so much more, like such a presence in Asia, like how does automotive repair in Asia differ from what you guys see in the US?
Honestly speaking, they're not that different. I mean, car comes in, you fix it, like plain and simple. Uh, Key difference is that like in the US, there's like a wider variety of vehicle brands, right? Like so many different vehicles out there. That's why having a scan tool with like strong coverage, especially for like Korean and Japanese vehicles, makes a huge difference. So,
Because you guys are so tapped into the Korean market and the Korean brands,
mhm.
what is your outlook for the growth of those OEMs within the US?
Uh, so Korean car brands have been breaking sales records in the US every quarter for the past couple of years. I mean, more cars on the road mean more demand for like diagnostic scan tools. So we believe it's only a matter of time before our Zenith tool gains even more traction in the US market.
Makes sense. I'll say anecdotally, like
Mhm.
I'm personally seeing a lot more of those Korean brands and very impressed with what they're putting out there. So it definitely tracks with what we're seeing.
Oh yeah, especially with the with Hyundai. I mean, they're doing phenomenal on the market right now. It's just ridiculous.
You're just biased because you worked there for so long. I'm kidding.
Sorry. No, 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 not a thing. No.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so yeah, continuing on to like looking towards the future, what are sort of the diagnostic or the trends that you see in the future around diagnostic tools?
Trends. Well, a lot of the OEM manufacturers now they're rolling out with their own security gateways. I mean, FCA started with Auto Auth, and then they moved on to Nissan, and so on and so forth. As an aftermarket tool company, we have to keep up to ensure that that compatibility. Um, New protocols like CAN FD and DOIP are also being implemented into like newer Nissan, GM, and like FCA models. So constant development is really the key. And like futuristically speaking, more features, more connectivity, and like smarter diagnostics, right? As we're coming into the age of like AI, right? So it's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I think one of the looming, I don't want to say threats, but just one of the
Mhm.
pieces that everyone's struggling with are the security gateways.
Oh, for sure.
It seems like it's always a race to find pathways around it, you know. So
Oh
I know
yeah,
that like,
trying. Yeah.
I just know that, one of the things that you guys have really been thoughtful about is again your Z remote, where there is an option where if there is that security gateway,
Hmm.
there's no access through an aftermarket tool. You guys
Hmm.
are providing that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool. Uh, Last question is just from your perspective, what excites you most about Zenith?
Oh man, really hate these questions. I was kidding. What really excites me, I mean, the fact that EZDS USA is finally, it's finally here, right? It's finally here. We've been in business for, almost 3 decades, man. It's crazy. It's a long time, but we're only just getting started in the US. We know we're kind of like the new kid on the block. Who's that guy? You know, but we've always been focused on like sustainable, like high quality products. We believe that once technicians experience Zenith, they'll recognize its value. And we're here for the long haul, and we're excited to grow in the US market.
Well, we appreciate you allowing us to be part of your journey. We're excited to be partners with you.
Thank you.
And also, we're just happy that you took the time to chat with us today, and we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.